Hey, good Tuesday morning, everyone. Tuesday morning, and sun's coming out. It's going to be a warm day today, so I hope you're able to get out and enjoy some of the sun and soak in some of the vitamin D. Today, I just want to talk about life. Life, I mean, it changes. It changes all of a sudden. It can take a turn. And, volunteer firefighters, we wear pagers, and that pager, as soon as it goes off, someone's life is changing, and we don't often stop to think about that. But all of us, we're one accident away from our life changing. We're one diagnosis away from life changing. We're one medical situation away from life changing. And sometimes we take life for granted. I mean, a day like today, where it's going to be beautiful, it's going to be warm, the sun's going to be shining. But yet, we don't often think about how our life can change and how it can impact our family, how it can impact our community, how it can impact the world in which we live. Jesus knew that his life was coming to an end. He knew what was about to happen in Jerusalem. He knew what was about to take place. And in John chapter 14, Jesus is talking to his disciples, and he says to them, "Do not let your hearts be troubled. You believe in God, believe also in me. My Father's house has many rooms." You hear that? Has many rooms. And he says, "If that were not so, would I have told you that I'm going there to prepare a place for you? And if I go and prepare a place for you, I will come back and take you to be with me, that you also may be where I am." Now, this is Jesus trying to speak hope into the life of the disciples, because the disciples don't understand what's going to happen when Jesus gets to Jerusalem. Jesus is telling them that you believe in God, believe also in me. In my Father's house. My Father's house has many rooms. And I know folks like the King James translation because we want a mansion, right? But, the original Greek, it doesn't say mansion. But, when you translate it, translators back in 1611, they like the mansions too, because that's what all the wealthy and rich and all the nobles had. So but Jesus says, "In my Father's house are many rooms," and in other words, there's room enough for all of us. There's room enough for all of us. There's room for every disciple, and Jesus says that I'm going to go there to prepare a place for you, to prepare a place for you. I don't know what today's going to bring for any of us. I'm watching a bluebird. I don't know what today's going to bring for any of us. I don't know what tomorrow's going to bring. Last week, I was doing some research on my family, and I was reading a story about my great-grandfather. And he was a carpenter. I had no idea what he did for a living, but he was a carpenter. And in 1948, he and my Uncle Wayne were walking through Piedmont. They were going to cross the tracks, the railroad tracks. I played on those railroad tracks most of my life as a kid. It was a different time. Don't worry about it. I'm here. But he and my uncle were going to work that day. He was taking my uncle to work, and I can't imagine the excitement my Uncle Wayne must have had. He's going to spend his day with his grandfather, my great-grandfather. And it must have been an exciting thing for a teenager to know that he was going to be with his grandfather, and they were going to work that day, and they were going to have fun. They were going to learn. He was going to learn. And as they're getting ready to cross the track, a train is coming in one direction, so they stop in between the tracks. It was a different time. And while they are waiting for that train to pass by, another train comes behind them. And a piece of metal sticking out hits my grandfather, my great-grandfather, knocks him several feet. And by the time they carried him to the doctor's office in Piedmont, he was gone. Now, I imagine he had a lot of plans in life. He had things he wanted to do. But, you know, one of the articles that I researched, it said that my Uncle Wayne said that his grandpa was just standing there, and then he wasn't. And that's how fast life can change. And that's why all of us, we need to live every day as if Jesus is coming back. We need to live every day as if that next breath is our last breath. Because none of us are going to live forever. Seriously, we're not. We can buy all the hair coloring stuff. Of course, I don't. I just stick with my wisdom highlights to try to make ourselves look younger. We can do all those things. But you know what? When our time's up, our time's up. And Jesus knew that. And he was telling his disciples the following words: do not let your hearts be troubled. You believe in God, believe also in me. My Father's house has many rooms. King James, many mansions. If that were not so, would I have told you that I'm going there to prepare a place for you? And if I go and prepare a place for you, I will come back and take you to be with me, that you also may be where I am. Folks, I don't know what today is going to bring for any of us. I don't know what the next call on that pager's going to bring for whoever it is needing help. But in a single moment, a life can change. A car wreck, a train going by, the diagnosis at the doctor's office, or maybe just sudden sickness and illness that could take us to the ER. Life is fragile. But you know what Jesus promised his disciples? Do not let your hearts be troubled. Believe in God. Believe also in me. This is Pastor Bill from St. Luke's United Methodist Church, Harrisville, West Virginia, Ritchie County, West Virginia. Wherever you are, I hope you're happy, I hope you're healthy, and I hope you're safe. Have a great day, everyone, and God bless.